It's very good size. It's luxury. That only affects very good and nice. We go here.
No, I want to get started, so I'll do my thing, and then
Start asking you questions.
when you guys can.
Hey, Isaac. No running.
Yeah. Hey, no running, okay? I'll connect you after. Yeah, I'll connect you after. I'll do a quick for sure. So I think we'll get started.
So 7 different sections. You're looking at probably more like 6 or 7. If you're going to do a modular,
I think we'll get started and then we'll give the floor to.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
You're giving away all the good
Yeah, you're giving away all the tips, man.
My card.
Cool. Well, hope you guys enjoyed some pizza. So here's a quick quick legal disclaimer.
Wow.
Anything we talk about, don't.
Very small.
You know, this is a risk. Real estate investing is a risk. You can't make a lot of money. You can also lose a lot of money. I'm Martin. This is my wife, Cindy.
The dream one is to buy my drink.
A little bit
Yeah,
about
if you
us.
can-
Founded an online dating site. We owned the first all-organic market here in Saratoga. Run my own podcast. I've been sailing since I was 5. I grew up working on houses and also run a real estate mastermind with, I think people have over 2,000 doors collectively. Yeah, so I started this podcast and meetup. I started the podcast like in November. Started this meetup in January. So thanks for coming. And if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, please do. In fact, tomorrow I have this guy. If you guys remember this guy, William Hung. He was a American Idol contestant. A lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, he's actually he's a really smart guy. He actually does public speaking coaching now. But I'm actually interviewing him tomorrow on my podcast, which is super cool. Super cool. I'm super excited. He's a really interesting guy. So a quick example of real estate. About 6 years ago, my wife and I purchased our home that we currently live in. We rehabbed it and just had it appraised. It appraised for a little over $1.5 million. So we have about $1 million equity in the property, and what equity means is leverage, right? You can take that equity and purchase more properties. A little bit about us: we also do flipping. This is kind of like the before and after. This is we have our process down to about 7 days. Complete kitchen gut, remodel, lights, floors, cabinets. Yeah. It's all about project management. It's not 7 consecutive days, but 7 working days. It takes about 14 days to order my cabinet, so there is some gap in there.
where do you get the cabinets from?
China.
Okay.
You know where I'm getting them from. So why multifamily, right? So for those of you who don't know much about multifamily, it's a way to diverse your income, right? If you have a single family home and you're renting it for $800, if your tenant leaves, you're not making any money. With a multifamily, right? You can have a fourplex here. You can have 2 people leave, and you're still making $1,600 a month in income. So it's a little way to kind of diversify your investment there. So in my mind, multifamily is a little less risky. A 10-unit property, if you have 1 vacancy, you're only at a 10% in occupancy. Scalability, you can purchase larger, you can rehab and increase the rents a lot more. So here's a quick example of the power of real estate and the power of multifamily. So just looking at a 60-unit apartment renting for $1,200 each. If you don't have money to rehab the property or upgrade the property, there's other ways of pushing value. One way is by billing the tenants for cable and internet packages. So let's say you provide internet and cable to the tenant. Charge them $88 extra. So you bump up the rent to a little less than $1,300. What you've done there is you've pretty much increased the property value by over $1 million. You put no money in the property. So there's a bunch of little secrets that you can do, billing back the tenants for utilities, that kind of thing. There's other ways of pushing value on the property, but it's one quick example. So choosing a market, you can go to citydata.com, you can analyze the employment, population, is income growing. You want to look at the crime rate, you want to make sure there's less than 500 reported cases in that city for the year. Look at the median income and make sure that the property will cash flow.
You ever been to one of Neil Bauer's?
Yeah, he's really smart. Yeah, he's a data scientist. He talks a lot about that stuff. Yeah, I use his calculations all the time. Yeah. So finding the property, you can pull lists from ListSource, reach out to escrow companies for lists and whatnot. Speaking to real estate agents and brokers, they're very valuable at finding off-market properties, especially in this market. It's super competitive. You can drive for dollars, look around to try to find some dumpy apartments that need rehab. Cold calling owners through Mojo Dialer. Did that for a while. Search on Craigslist. That doesn't really work here. One thing that I've been doing lately is reaching out to for rent ads on Facebook Marketplace. So reaching out to them, seeing if they're interested in selling. You know, they post an ad for $800 a month for a unit. Just reach out to them. Hey, I don't want to rent, but I'm interested in selling. I've gotten a couple leads through that, but nothing worthwhile. So evaluating the property, simple breakdown. It goes from A, B, C, D. A is the best. That would be like your Santana Row build. D would be like a war zone. I don't think we have any Ds in the Bay Area. I think worse, maybe some parts of the East Bay we might have like Cs. You want to make sure the property is stabilized. If it's already a current property that's built, 80% occupancy. When looking at the financials, you want to make sure that expense ratio is roughly around 50% there. And just any other weird stuff. I listen to a lot of multifamily podcasts, and there's a story of a person who was in contract for like 100 unit, and there was fire hydrants on the property, right? When you buy a property, who do you think owns the fire hydrants? In my mind, I would automatically assume the city, right? No, unfortunately the city does not own those. The property owner owns them. And they ended up backing out of the deal because if the fire hydrants didn't check out when you purchased the property, it would cost like a couple $100,000 just to update the piping on those fire hydrants. So, yeah, super weird, right? So evaluating the property, you want to confirm that the rents, match what other people are renting for in that area. Analyze the financials, make sure they have reserves, nothing fishy like that. Here are some important formulas. Loan to value and net operating income and cap rate, I think, are some quick ones that you might want to try to learn and run some numbers. When looking at properties, evaluating properties, roughly the rule of thumb is for every $100,000 that you borrow, you're looking at a $600 monthly payment. Yeah, don't pretend there wasn't actually.
Wow, that would be great.
nice.
It's like a $6,000 mortgage payment on that, right? So that's the general rule of thumb. You can quickly look at properties to see if they'll cash flow. Roughly $600 a month for every $100,000 that you borrow. So on $1 million property, you're looking at around $6,000. Just a quick rule of thumb. So financing the property on multifamily, you typically need to put 20 to 30% down, and the owner of the property needs to have a net worth that exceeds the property value. Down payment, so you can come up with a down payment from your savings, take equity out on your home. You can use a 401k, so you can roll that over to a self-directed IRA and use that for the down payment. Or you can find an owner that owns the property and possibly get in with 0 down payment. So see if they'll do like an owner financing. The rate, the term, everything's negotiable. And you could even potentially make up to $1 million. I was just on Facebook the other day. I'm in a bunch of apartment multifamily groups. There's this lady who purchased a property from an owner, and instantly she made $1 million from cashing out, doing the equity, that kind of thing. But yeah, you can make a lot of money. So managing the property, you can manage it yourself, or you can pay a property management company that specializes in managing apartments. So buying your first property, obviously, there's just kind of touched on a lot of high-level things here. You can follow the steps outlined, or you can invest in what's called a real estate syndication. It's basically a fund that people pool all their money in together. Real estate attorney drafts up all the documents. Typical hold time is around 5 years, and when you invest in these things, you typically receive mail docs money, check everything. So here are a few of my goals. Looking to buy a 2 to 30 unit property by July. Raise the money from private investors, evaluate, close the property, and turn the property around by increasing the rent, rehabbing them, packaging internet cable, doing that kind of thing. Maybe adding childcare. Now that we have kids, childcare is super expensive. You can fit like 10 kids in a unit. That's 10 grand right there. That's a lot more than you can rent that apartment, that unit for. So contact us, email, phone. Please subscribe to my podcast if you haven't already done so. And that's it. I think now we'll have our guest speaker Roy come up and talk about ADUs.
It's gonna be Lee.
Or Lee, yeah. Awesome.
What's the area where you're looking at distressed property?
Probably somewhere in Central California, Sacramento, possibly Reno. There's a couple different markets where you can actually cash flow, right? If you purchase an apartment complex here, you probably can't really cash flow because you're going to pay $500,000 a door. Yeah, so yeah, look within the state. Within the state, yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, California's so strict with rental laws, but I'm willing to take the chance because we did own properties out of state, and property management just kind of took advantage of us. We're just kind of done with the only state property management. Yeah, but now to Lee to talk about ADUs.
Awesome, great guys, thanks for coming out. That was a good job to Martin.
Oh, thanks, man.
He's the guy you want to talk to for investing, right? So cool. So has anybody heard about ADUs before? I mean, obviously you have. You guys, who knows? Do you guys know a lot, a little?
Very little.
Just kind of get a feel for you guys. So okay, cool. So it's a hot thing in the Bay Area right now. California, I'm sure, as you guys have heard, has completely just lifted almost all the red tape for ADUs to put these things on the property, the requirements, the restrictions, and the minimizing the fees. It's a huge deal. And as they alleviate the housing crisis for us being investors, it's great for making money. So the name of our company is called California Modulars. These are some of the headlines that we've been in. In fact, this is one of the units that we actually built up in Oakland. Okay, they're beautiful inside and out. So a little bit about us. We were established in 2014. It's also when we jumped into the market, and Roy, our president, saw things going that way. He was paying attention to the trends early, and he was one of the first guys to actually be a part of the ADU movement here in Northern California. Pretty cool. We have about 34 projects on the schedule, so we are literally just cranking these things out right now. We have a factory located in Gilroy, so we actually build. I'll get into this in a little bit, but we have a factory that produces these units, pumps them out completely, 95% done off-site, and then we ship out to properties. A little bit about us. So we're a one-stop shop, which means ease and peace of mind for you guys. We literally do everything from start to finish. We have financing partners, architectural, and we get it built. So what is an ADU? Basically stands for accessory dwelling unit. Okay, other people know that as granny flat, mother-in-law quarters. It's basically just a secondary livable unit on the property. ADUs can be attached or detached from the existing structure. So a traditional ADU will be, somewhere located somewhere on the property. They can range anywhere from 300 all the way up to 1,200 square feet, which is huge, depending on your property size. We also, so if people don't have the existing property to put a unit on, we can make one attached to the existing unit. Okay, that's called a JADU. Requirements are slightly different, however, it's more cost effective, and it's another way to create streams of income. Okay? And I kind of touched on this earlier, so just California to create more affordable housing, especially here in the Bay Area. We all know there's no affordable housing here, right? Okay, so we are, helping people alleviate their housing crisis, getting families into homes, and like I said, they're minimizing the fees. Over the next 5 years, this is going to take place, so capitalize on it now. So some of the ADU benefits, okay? Additional passive income, that's the number one. Okay? There's a lot of cool ways that people can make income from these things. We have investors, as we were talking earlier, we had a guy that came to us, he's got 15-unit apartment building, okay? Legally, according to California, you can put half the amount of units of your existing structure on the property. So this guy, we're going to sign the deal on Thursday, he's going to put 5 of these units on his property. Great for investor because you don't have to buy additional property, which is the expensive part, okay? Keep the same property, and he's going to have 5 more streams of income, add to the value of the property, and add money in his bank account. It's a good deal, right? Investors, it's like way more options, outbuying more land. This is great for elderly, okay? We all have elderly relatives, okay? This is great for them. So we all know that at the end of your working days, most people are hoping that their nest egg doesn't wear out, right? Okay, that you don't run out of money before you run out of life. It's just a real thing. And so with this, people can age in place. They don't have to relocate to a cheaper area. They can make money using their existing property, or sometimes if they're, it's just a single older person, they'll just move into the property, into the ADU, because they don't need, a 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom house any longer. They don't need a 2,000 square foot house to live. They'll just live in the same property, same area, cute little house that it's easy to take care of. They can rent out the front unit for $5,000 a month. I mean, $60,000 a year of passive income is not so bad in retirement. All right. Again, affordable housing for young people, married, unmarried couples, families starting out. The cool thing about this, young people get married, a lot of them can't afford to buy a house right away. Okay, sometimes it takes 2 incomes to even pay rent. But the children can also live on the same property but have their own space, separate from the family, okay, have their own lives. However, the cool thing is they're paying rent to their family living on the property. They're just keeping the money within the family, which is a great thing to do. And it's great for traveling professionals. I'll have Roy come up later to talk about this, but we have tons of people here and there, and it's tech central. We got guys coming in and out all day long, every day. It's a great option for them as well. And so, with us, we're basically a one-stop shop. We're handle all your needs from beginning to end. To go to site analysis, architectural engineering work, real estate work, the foundation, and the building. And this is pretty cool because most ADU builders out there build what we call a stick build. And if you don't know what that is, I dimmed that front. It's basically just a wood frame unit. Okay, just like a regular house built out of wood beams, studs. We can offer those. We can customize it however you want. We have pre-approved plans. However, we also have something that we call modular. And the great thing about modular is that for the client, we can condense time frames. Okay? So we go out, no matter which one you build, you always have to do your architectural, civil work, engineering. And we get that done. Once it's all approved, with the modular unit, we can build the foundation at the exact same time that we're building the ADU in our factory. Once it's ready to go, we ship the ADU out to the house. It's 95% done. And the cool thing about that is we saved anywhere from 2 to 3 months of time for the client to get their ADU finished and complete, start to finish. Okay, that's a huge deal. And we also do financing. Oh, and also with our modulars, we make them out of steel. We've all had termites. We've all had mold. We've all had weather and water damage and all kinds of stuff. Just throughout our lives in our housing, right? One thing about steel is that it's extremely resistant to water, climate change, all these issues, and they're very strong. And we also, people need help with financing, so we have partners that help with that as well. But literally, if you want an ADU, there's pretty much a way to get it. You won't be denied. And so it's just a couple of our units that we have to offer. We have quite a bit more. We still have time for all of them. But you can see that they're very easy, convenient units. This is great for a newly married couple, professional.
I'll be the one.
Did you do this one? It's about 6,000 square feet.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
How big of a lot do you need to do this? It's about 6,000 square feet.
No, there's no limitation in which one
This is our Tuscany, so this is a 2-bedroom. Again, if you put this on your property, you can rent out both rooms, make 2 streams of income. Okay, pretty cool. However, if you have an apartment or a multi-family unit, like I was saying, if you have a fourplex that's existing, you can put 2 extra units. This is an option. As well as our friends.
Is the ADU the brown part or the whole thing? Sorry.
Sorry?
The ADU is the whole thing?
The whole thing.
The whole thing's
The
ADU.
entire
Nowadays, you can do a 2-story ADU as well. There's no limitation as well. For garage, in fact, we do a number of them.
Depending on your property, we can get real creative with it.
You can get up to 1,200 square feet. We have over 9,000 square feet of property. But again, there's no limitation to the amount of property. Huge difference.
What was the difference between in finance?
Can I take that?
Yep. Sorry, I was going to bring him up again.
Repeat the
What's the
question.
difference? What's the difference between modular and manufacturing?
Can you repeat it again? Can you repeat it again?
Yes. What is the difference between modular and manufactured? Okay. Huge difference. You cannot. Manufactured home is essentially built under an RV code. It's not built under a conventional building code, right? Which means that you cannot borrow against it. You cannot add to the value of your home, right? If you put that, manufactured home in your property, it won't add to the value. A modular home is built just off-site, built the same way as any conventional construction. Put on a foundation, a permanent foundation, and you can borrow. That's it.
So basically, it's constructed with foundation, right?
It's all about.
Manufactured home is like a steel.
It's got axles and wheels on it. It's the walls are about 1.5 inches thick. It's not built per code. You cannot even actually to date. You cannot even take a modular or a manufactured home and try to put it on a permanent foundation because it's really just not built per code.
And the modular home is built based on the state code, not the city code, right?
It's built per state and city code. It's per California code. Now also, there's a big deal as of January 1st, the building codes changed. Okay, which means that the envelope has to be much more rigid. We have to provide solar ready. We have to provide a future electric vehicle charging station. All kinds of things have changed. Yeah.
So you have ADUs have always been allowed, but it's just like it became less restricted.
Yes, we started building ADUs back in 2014. Our first Our first ADU that went in 20. It took almost a year and a half to get the permit. We only got it in. We started building in 2015 in July, I think. And then with that, I can tell you all kinds of stories. You know, they required fire sprinklers. They required all kinds of impact fees and that kind of thing. Nowadays, especially after January 1st, Senate Bill 13 passed. We no longer have a certain amount of impact fees, no longer school fees, parkland fees, that kind of thing, as long as it's below 750 square feet. No need for any additional parking requirements. The side and back setbacks have changed. So now it's down to 3 feet on side and back setbacks. You no longer have a restriction of size of property like we were discussing. You can, you know, at one point it was 6,000 square feet. You cannot put something in your backyard. Now, as long as you're meeting your side setbacks and your back setbacks, you can put anything you want in the backyard. You can go 2-story if you wanted to. In all cities, two stories. There's no setback changes. What else can I tell you?
Are ADUs big in other states as well?
What's that?
Are ADUs big in other states?
There are, Oregon is a huge component. They've got a lot of ADUs going on too. I've got no idea. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just showed you one.
you have a...
Lee just showed you one of them that we have.
Yeah,
We have probably close to, I would say, 12 of them in the Bay Area right now. We've got 34 of them on the books. We've got probably another 8 of them in production right now. We just went to steel, which is a huge change. And we're just getting started on our first steel build out as of this week. Eventually, yeah. We actually moved our factory from Stockton. Nobody wanted to go to Stockton anymore. So we moved to Gilroy. And yes, it will be tourable and probably in the next month or so. We've got 8 of them getting started on being built right now. We've also can do multifamily. So you're talking about multifamily, income investment properties, that kind of thing. We can build multifamily. We can go 19 stories high.
That's crazy.
Right. And the reality, we will eventually, if we get something that big, we'll have to get a bigger space. Right, exactly.
So how do you do that? Can you explain more? Is it 19 ADUs stacked on top of each other, or how does that work?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
There's a new building process. New shear wall technology. Okay, shear wall means that there's a lateral and transverse shear structure, right, on the exterior of the buildings, right? Right. So if we have earthquakes or we have whatever it is, moving in soils and that kind of thing, it's not going to go anywhere. So because of that new technology, we can go 19 stories.
Pretty cool.
You guys do foundation too?
Of course.
And the steel is what? How do you do that? What kind of foundation?
We have just we tried. I came up with a new steel chassis foundation system, which would have been great, and I got it approved through the state, but the city didn't like it. They started asking all kinds of questions about geosoils and that kind of thing, and it just was taking too long. So we just we cut that whole idea and just went back to conventional stem wall foundations. The cost effectiveness is in the speed in which it gets built, right? So let's say you're an investor, you're borrowing money against this project. You really don't know. Construction is pretty fickle. You don't know if there's going to be delays in in materials or delays in weather or whatever it is, right? So oftentimes what I'm finding and when I'm speaking with investors, you know, the really big deal is that, you know, you borrow the money, but you don't know if you're going to start paying it back before you can actually get the key and rent that thing. So there's your savings. Your savings is that you can get it built within a third the time of conventional savings. You still have to build it. You still have to put flooring in, still cabinets and countertops and, you know, materials, MEPs and the whole works. So it's just being built off-site and it can be pretty big.
So from the time that somebody contracts with you, what's your time?
Well, again, with the new Senate bills that just you know, got approved, Senate Bill 13, you know, they've limited the plan review process to 60 days. We have a few architects that work with us. They usually can put together a full set of plans within a 3-week process, 3 weeks to a month. So we can get a building permit in about 3 months. And then, depending on what size we're building, whether it's multifamily or just an individual ADU, it could be anywhere from 3 months to 7 months.
And that's built on your factory. And then there's installable.
Yeah, but the install phase, like you mentioned, we're 95% done by the time we're there. We're building the foundation at the same time we're building the unit in the factory. So there's your savings, you know, when we grow together.
Tell them what's in the unit when it arrives at the house.
Everything, yeah. It's flooring, paint. You know, there's a loft. It's, you know, the carpet, if you want carpet, the furniture, everything you want. Anything you want, it's going to be in there.
Including tenants too.
You know, actually, the reality is, you know, we have so many people contacting us for as tenants, going, hey, do you know anybody that's going to rent it to us? You know, we probably should start a management company. Right?
Put them in there.
Right, exactly. I got a place for you.
Idea was boring.
Right,
We're not
exactly.
even gonna go over the financing.
You know, we're not legally allowed to benefit from any of the financing. However, we've got a few different banks that we work with, modular friendly banks. You can't necessarily go to Wells Fargo and say, hey, you know, we're going to build a modular, but the reality is they won't send their investigator out, their inspector out, and actually fund the project. We work with US Bank, you know, which is very modular friendly. They have a great program that'll convert a conventional or a construction loan, which is probably around the 3.94% to a conventional loan after construction, you know, without any additional fees.
So that's the mortgage technically?
Second, exactly. Second, you know, I always suggest, you know, HELOC is probably the fastest, easiest way. You know, the rates are incredible right now. Money is cheap. Right now, it's probably the cheapest you've ever seen in your life. We also have Umpqua Bank, which also has a very similar program, but they take about 20% down, unless you obviously have 20% of equity in your house. And then we have like bridge loans, you know, that are more for, you know, quick fix and flips type of thing, in and out. Rates are high, but you don't have to pay it until the project is complete. So, yeah.
So, that's just on the view, what's the timing of the payments? Presumably that the entire cost is like, looks like about $100
Right. So we have a schedule of values that we work with. Usually the architecturals take a certain percent, you know, at the front. Yes, and then it's phased from there, 25, 15, 15, 10, 5 at the very end. You know. So we don't ask for any money until something is complete. All right. We don't you know, unless we get an inspection completed, we're not going to require a payment.
So would you say you have a 95%? What are those missing 5%?
Usually it's called stitch up, right? So exterior finishes have to be done on site. We have to keep the first 2 feet of exterior finishes off the building because our hold downs are required to be tied to our shears. So when we crane a unit onto the foundation, we have these hold downs that are bent over, and then we have to strap it to the sides of it. That's really it.
And hookups, right?
And hookups. Yeah, so you got electrical hookup, plumbing hookup, water hookup.
You guys don't do all that?
Yeah.
Do you do separate electrical metering and all that?
I suggest people don't do that because it gets costly. Now it's not a big deal if you do it. We can coordinate that with PG&E if you want that. But the reality is, well, no, it's a good question. But the reality is, it costs too much. You know, I normally suggest people just go on Amazon and get an inline water meter or inline electric meter, and you can actually monitor it, and then add that to whatever the electric meter is going to be.
We also have a general construction.
What's that?
We also have a general construction.
Well, yeah. The reality is we're a full-service general construction company. You know, and if we cannot get a modular in your backyard, we'll build it. We'll build it as a kit system. We'll build, it in the factory. We'll ship it over to the backyard, and we'll do what we can to minimize the amount of time it takes to get things done and processed. So that's it. We do. We have, absolutely.
When you look at your CEO and compare the ADU just to cushion the house value, not necessarily
Yes.
adding tenants or.
Yes.
We've had real estate agents come for offices and look at that stuff.
Okay. And so for those cases, ROI you make without having additional tenant. The house got larger because ADU and therefore the house is worth more.
Okay, so here's the reality of it all. Is that, theoretically, it actually grows in value, right? You appreciate because of the square footage that you're adding, right? That's the reality. The truth is that there aren't very many comps that have ADUs in their backyards, so they can't necessarily, it's difficult for appraisers to appraise based on the additional value that you're adding.
It's basically additional square footage.
Yeah, and ultimately that's all it is. It's adding, let's call it 400-600 square feet to your existing house, and therefore additional value to your house.
Yeah, I mean, with a young child family, I would love to appreciate a house, but I mean, like, I'm not at the stage where I'm thinking of tenants and
You know what?
So that's my thought process.
Oh, well, great thought process. I've got a 5-bedroom house. I didn't buy it. I just bought it in October. The reality is that I only use 1 bedroom with my wife and my kid. 2 bedrooms upstairs are rented out to nurses that are working 15 hours a day, that are like mice. They pay. They pay. Top dollar, $1,500 a month. And I never see them work all night. They sleep all day. Never see them. The 2 units downstairs. Yeah, the 2 units downstairs are being rented out to engineers, traveling engineers, and they are again also the same thing. They really have a very little footprint. They don't use the kitchen very much. They'll use the Keurig. That's about it. They'll go eat out, or they eat at Google, whatever.
So you pretty much live for free.
Yeah, I live for free. And I'm putting a unit in my backyard, the one that I was actually explaining. The 600 square foot. They sound very big, but 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Each unit has its own individual bathroom. That's all they want. They really, and they fly in on a Monday, they leave on usually a Thursday, and they'll give you $1,500 a month.
So you have 34 of them put up in your factory. So what's that lag time?
Lag time?
If I gave you an order tomorrow, like a bunch of stuff you have to do.
Yeah, but the beauty of what we do is that we can actually, it's kind of like chess, right? We can move things around to accommodate. It's not like we're a general contractor and we have to actually hire a factory that's already got their own. We own the factory, So if it's somebody that we know we can get done fast before the next person, we'll push things through.
It's kind of newer. You might have to pick a company. What kind of question I should ask if you're in
Well, do they handle the whole process from start to finish? Because you don't really want to find your own architect. You don't really want to find your own general contractor. you don't really want to find and get stuck in a queue. We were just talking about, right? Because all of a sudden you maybe be able to get it for $30 per square foot cheaper from some factory in Arizona, but you know, it's going to defeat the purpose of modular because you can't get through there for decades. You know, because they've got their own processes. Right? So I would probably, those are the first questions. You know, how quickly can I get it done? Do you handle the site work? You know, will you handle the permitting process? That's there's a sliding scale. I got to do the same thing for a 300 square foot as I have to do for a 3,000 square foot. So we're between, you know, this is all inclusive, between $400 a square foot to about $325. All from, you know, 400. But that's all inclusive. You know, it's like, hey, you know, just write a check and, you know, drop it back here. Any other questions?
Are you required to put solar panels on it? I know that new builds you are.
Actually, no. It's a misnomer. We are required to make it solar ready. So
What does that entail?
Means that we just have to put a future electrical service towards, you know, eventually a inverter that you're going to install. So just a receptacle off of your sub panel.
How do you wire the ADU? Does it have its own breaker? Does it tap into your house breaker? How does that work?
It's a sub panel. It's a 100. We're required to have a 100 amp sub panel. Your existing house should have at least 150 amps. We do an upgrade if necessary if all you have is 100 amps. But yeah, we'll run a sub panel because the reality also is that we cannot bring any gas any longer into the backyard, so it all has to be electric. Yep. Even the water heater. Well, I've got a couple of
Instant on.
Like if we do, which one?
Instant on.
Oh, yeah, tankless water heaters. That's what we do. Exterior tankless water heaters.
What's the issue with the gas?
It's just California rules and regulations. You know, we're moving away from everything gas. Anything that's emission, you know, that's an emission. So, yes. Yeah. So we're talking. It's we're the most aggressive. Thank you. Title 24.
But we cannot get the gas. We need to do more.
No more.
It's already there.
If it's already there, you're grandfathered in. That's fine. But anything new construction, any new build, we are not allowed to bring. We cannot bring anyone to it.
Also January.
As of January 1st. Electricity.
Do you guys include AC and all that?
Yeah, we have a mini split system in every unit. It's got a condenser and a heat pump. Electric. Right? Electric.
Pricing just how much?
Between 400 square foot and 325
Per square foot or sorry?
per square foot.
That's the square foot size?
That's per square foot. That's
Cost
cost,
per square foot.
cost per square foot. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. But the cost per square foot doesn't matter when it costs $600 to you know, for $100,000 borrowed, right? You have let's say you borrow $200,000, that's $1,200. You can rent one of these things out for $25.
Or you can do assisted living like you're talking about, right?
Right.
Which is even smarter.
I didn't even get to that point yet.
Corporate housing.
Corporate housing.
People hire in investors.
Really?
Like corporate housing, how you can keep the customers that we want investor renters.
How do you access that though?
Corporate housing.
Would you have to go to let's say Google or something and
Yeah, Google, or you have a realtor that specializes in corporate housing. So when they relocate, we call it relocation. Someone at Apple or Google in the Bay Area for like 2 months.
yeah, they're doing all
They
this.
need that place to be fully furnished. They move in, they pay you a premium over regular, and then they move out, they put the house in, and they won't pay a premium.
open space.
Really?
Yeah, there's realtors that are like that. I've heard about it before. I don't do that, but they're
Oh, we could.
premium renters.
Ding. Just kind of light bulb.
He just got excited.
So do you have any project that we can see in the area? Because I'm having in the backyard and I say I should do a fan between my main house and the ADU.
You can.
Will not be weird.
You can, just give them their privacy, yours as well. That's fine. But yeah, I have, majority of the ones that I have built are already obviously, occupied. But most of them, kind of surprisingly, are not rentals. They're grandmother and grandfather in the backyard. There's, I got Taiwanese families and Filipino families that have these large families that, that they multi-generational living. Right? The first one that we built was an American family that grandma and grandpa decided to move into the backyard and give their house to their kids because they couldn't afford to buy a house.
Is that what you can do, like realtor access?
Yes, in fact, that's our first one we did. No curve in the showers, 36-inch doorways, that kind of thing. Yep. Yep. Grab bars everywhere. So what's your story?
I'm pondering.
You're pondering.
You own a house?
I do. I own a house, yes, in San Jose.
Sounds to me like you should speak. Perfect.
I usually ponder for a while. But yes,
We'll come and see you.
looking at potentially doing something like an ADU as an office, which would be potentially the next step, is having an office space.
Kind of like a, okay.
Is that
office.
2 bedrooms,
Yeah.
1 bedroom, and an office?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a couple of those actually. We have a 750 that's, if you can do modular, that's not a bad way of going. 750 and below, you get the impact fees waived, especially in the city of San Jose. Sam Ricardo asked us if we could potentially build 200 of them this year. So we're working on
The
that.
tiny house?
Yeah,
Project?
well, just 500 square footers, yeah.
Yeah.
He's also got a program that's going on right now. It's you get funded through the trust, Santa Clara Trust. They'll give you $20,000. Okay, as long as you sign get within their program and sign on the dotted line saying you're going to be offering the ADU as a low income rental. Right? Not necessarily low income. Instead of $2,500, you're going to take $1,800. Right? But for 5 years, they're going to loan you the money to build it, and then after 5 years, they'll waive that the loan.
They wipe it out, right?
They wipe it out.
Yeah. That's pretty smart.
So far as I know, it's only in San Jose right now. I think Oakland is starting. They're starting something like that. Yes. All right. Cool. Any other questions? I think I've spewed.
I have a private question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about S2A Modular? I've heard about them.
They don't even have a factory.
Yeah, but I've heard they're raising a lot of money.
They're raising money to build something. They've never even put
But
something
they're
on the
raising a lot
ground.
of money.
I know. Well, it's their angle is that they're going to raise as much money as possible right now. Then they're going to put a factory together, and they're going to start doing
Demand,
buildings.
so it's going to be low. Yeah, what about
Yeah. You know what? There's a lot of
They're
right
raising
now.
money. They're raising money. These guys are raising money.
Right. And we're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
we're raising money. We're ramping up to get to the next level too. It's like Katera, right? Katera just raised $500 million. They don't do the ADUs any longer. In fact, I don't think they ever did. They're doing multifamilies.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so it's great, It's we're doing the same thing. We're working with some angel investors to get ourselves to the next level. But because we were one of the first, we've grown organically to this point. So we've ultimately gone through every trial and tribulation. We've learned what not to do, and now we know how to do it right. So, right.
I've seen your thing before. You got the Santa Clara.
Yeah, we're part of that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're one of those
Oh, okay, yeah. We go to the Wednesday mornings.
The one in BJ?
Yes. You know it. Do you go there?
I've been there once. I think the last time I was there, you guys were there probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Awesome, cool. Thanks guys for coming.
Hey.
I hope you guys learned a lot. It's my second time meeting with them and these guys. So.
There's a lot to know.
Yeah, definitely.